company.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Philly Uncensored Sports Podcast. Where y'all at? I know y'all got the notification. I know y'all celebrating. I know everybody hype, but y'all got to come and get a little bit of this action. Y'all got to come and get this work. Let me first start off with saying, I'm not really a kind of guy I like to say I told you so.
We know that's a lie.
Okay, stop lying. I do enjoy saying the good I told you so. And I told y'all. It was Washington fans in here. Phil, who was it? I should remember his name. I told him, he said, I'll be back here. It's running out of regulars.
He did say that. He
let it come in. Yes, he said he'll be back. And I told him, come on back, because I'm telling you, y'all going to get spanked. I had no real fear going into this game because the way we beat them last time, the way our defense has been playing, I said, I'm telling y'all, it's going down. I called a 30 to 17 victory. I didn't see 55 points coming. I ain't see that at all.
I bet nobody did. If everybody would be truthful, nobody saw that coming.
Nobody saw 55 coming. I did in my mind. I felt the route. I really did feel a route coming on, and I feel. I feel I don't care who we play at this point. The way we played today, it don't matter who we play. Everybody was on with something. McCall. I know we still bummed. I know you're a Dallas Cowboy fan. I swear. I'm gonna let you hear.
McCall, what's good?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Listen, it's so much to talk about. Saquon, Jalen did his thing. The defense, AJ had a solid game. Goddard balled out. Tim, you kicked yourself off for some reason. It's so much to talk about. Wayne, go ahead. What's your thoughts? Because I could go on nonstop right now.
I mean, honestly, when I'm looking at it, and I kind of feel the same way you feel. I feel like we just are the best team in the NFL. And I've felt this even before that. When people was asking me, a lot of people was asking me, like, oh, how you feel about the game this week? And my whole thing was, if Jalen Hurts is healthy and if Quinyon Mitchell is healthy, I have zero concerns. Because that was the only thing I was worried about is certain. And watching this game, like, you really got to give, we gave Howie a lot of stuff for a couple years. Justfully so, with the picks of receivers and stuff he did. But when the Eagles finally turned over to this new way of drafting and said, we're going to draft the best player available, that because you did that, you get a Carter and the other defensive tackle. You draft them even though you have Fletcher Cox. You get Carter and Davis even though you got Fletcher Cox.
Schmitty.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying. You get players even though you already heavy at that position. So
that's facts.
So you definitely got to get him in it. But Saquon really does so much for this. This whole team plays up. And everybody that want to Nick Sirianni, we can say what you want, but Nick Sirianni got this team playing on a level where they all support each other. They have, even when it be stuff and the media trying to stir stuff up like they did with Jalen when he said something about, what's his name, AJ with the book. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they laughing that stuff off. Saquon like a I ain't going to use that terminology, but he in Disney World right now.
Yeah. No, listen, it reminds me, and I don't know if I said it on a podcast, but it very much reminds me of the 2004 T.O. when T.O. got on the team. The energy level, just his style of play. The only thing, the sad
Except
thing.
He don't got a hating quarterback like T.O. did.
Let's be positive.
No, I'm positive that Jalen Hurts ain't a hater like Donovan McNabb was.
I agree. It reminds me of that because the energy and the tempo and the change that T.O. brought here was so electrifying that you just couldn't deny what was happening. The only problem that whole season was honestly the horse collar tackle against Dallas with T.O. getting hurt. I firmly believe if T.O. was 100% going to the Super Bowl, I think we would have won, in my opinion. Even with all the cheating that Patriots are doing, all that, I still think we win that Super Bowl if T.O. is healthy. But I do agree with you. Saquon does so much for this team. Go ahead, Tim. You back. Go ahead.
Wait, hold up real quick. Let me address this. I never said I want to pick it in over. Wayne didn't say he wanted to pick it in over Jalen. My whole thing is Jalen can be our quarterback. He is our quarterback to win the Super Bowl. He is our best quarterback. So I never said I do
want to hear a little bit of positive Jalen because I was kind of telling y'all that Jalen could dot up when necessary, and there was a lot of question marks regarding his decision making and all that kind of stuff like that. So I do want to hear a little positive. But go ahead, Tim. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I thought we all were celebrating. I
had to address some slander.
Here's what I want to say.
This is for you.
This probably was the best game plan that Kellen Moore had all year long.
I can agree with that. Yes,
especially the second half.
What he did was superb as far as his coaching, the plays. I mean, that jet sweep to start the game off, that was pure butter, man. That was very good. That was an excellent play. I got it. And the boy Jalen came back. Legs seemed fine, 100% to me. It seemed good. He kept that defense honest. The boy Lubo is an absolute maniac. And before I do that, let me give props to the Washington Commanders. That young boy Jayden, if it wasn't for the turnovers,
great season. It was a great season.
It would have been a lot closer game. I mean, he didn't get rattled. That boy had that ball. Those fourth downs. He's a baller. The first he completed 2 third down completions,
fourth down,
and then he got 2 fourth down completions to start the game with. And
remember, so CJ Stroud was balling too, and then what happened? So we'll see what he do after a couple of years. But he's been balling this year.
He balled. They didn't even punt the first half. I mean, he balled his behind off. This young boy's gonna be a problem in the future. So I definitely want to give him his props. But to be fair, we all been critical of Nick Sirianni, so we got to give him his props. He kept the team together, even with the whole a lot of stuff that went on this year. They was mad at Jalen. They was mad at him for going for those fourth down conversions. But guess what?
They should have been.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, he made a couple bowling calls, but he's developing into a better coach. He's getting better. I see progress. That's what you want in your coach. He came in raw and he's getting better. So I'm gonna give him his props.
This is second Super Bowl though, right? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, no, but I mean, listen, you can't. That's what I'm saying. You cannot really hate on him with 2 Super Bowl appearances in 3 years.
Exactly.
I mean, you could. And to Tim's defense, you can't look at the first joint as kind of fluky. You could look like, a little bit of maybe fluke.
You could.
Yeah, I mean, we had a very favorable schedule that year and a very favorable playoff run. We played the Giants and we played the 49ers and we hurt their quarterback and we got the Super Bowl. You can say that's very favorable. You can say it's a little fluky and all that. Even though we should have won the Super Bowl, let's be clear about that. We got robbed out of that joint, but I'm gonna have to let that go. But at this point, you can't really hate on Nick. I know my man Reg, I was talking to him and he was saying the worst thing about Eagles that they go to Super Bowl is seeing that dope coach of y'all, Nick Sirianni, go and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, you can't really call him a dope if he got to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. He's doing something right. He has a winning record. His record is winning. He's been to the playoffs every year. Yes, every year he's been here. He's been in the playoffs. The first year he was here, we got to the playoffs and got bounced. We got to the Super Bowl twice, playoffs every year. You can't hate on the result. So now, whatever argument you want to make, it's not him. Is it the defense coordinator, offensive coordinator? He's putting people in position. He's keeping everybody balanced enough. He almost reminds me a little bit how, remember Pat Croce, like when Pat Croce was here, how he kind of was, he was the massager of everybody's egos, and he kind of kept everybody in check when Brett Brown and AI was going at it and all kinds of stuff like that. He made it comfortable enough for everybody to still be in the same space and win, and that's what Nick Sirianni is doing. I can't hate on the ball.
But they like it was something they were saying too about Nick Sirianni, like how he takes. I know Tim was like, it was hype up, but it was like players were saying Nick Sirianni bites the bullet for the team a lot of times. Like when it be other stuff that might be coming up, Nick Sirianni say something, draw attention, and they get to talk about Nick Sirianni instead of the stuff. This is what a player said. So
he still gotta. He don't gotta make himself look dumb in the process.
But what you saying? How about you saying he looked dumb, but maybe he's playing chess, not checkers?
No,
you want him to play checkers? He out there playing chess.
Tim, I thought you were positive.
I know, right? No, but wait. But speaking about playing chess and checkers, I also gotta give AJ Brown a huge shout out. He got in that boy head so bad. When dude got called, what's his name, Lattimore, got called for the PI on Devontae, AJ went over there and was in his ear and was talking mad crazy. And then the very next play, the bull got all hyped up and ended up getting the penalty.
He sure did.
AJ was in that boy head.
And X-Men came on here last week talking all this trash about Jalen Hurts. He called him every name but a child.
Tim, call him out.
I said the one person I was gonna remember on this podcast, it was X-Men, because he kept going at him. And guess what? The boy Jalen Hurts, he played his behind off today. He went off. Yeah, he was responsible for 4 touchdowns.
Yes.
What was brilliant.
Yes. He did. Jalen Hurts, listen. Jalen Hurts
Jalen gotta find a balance though with when to throw over the ball and get rid of it. And when he did a better job this time of getting rid of the ball, but he still holds it a little bit too long sometimes. Fortunately, though, it didn't. The defense balled out, so it didn't bother us as much. We had our offense, as well as they played, they did have some series where it was underwhelming what they did, and the defense gave us that influx. This game should have been close at all. Our offense did lag at certain points, but
I mean, come on, you're not going to score, and even though we did in the first half, but you're not going to score in every possession.
I'm not saying scoring every possession, but we had, and I'm not even saying it's Jalen Hurts. I'm just saying I feel like it was the play calling. At certain points, it was like, what did we call? Like that game should have never got as close as it got. This should have been a straight up route.
I can't totally agree. The only drive I think that was suspect was coming out of the third quarter. Was coming out of halftime into the third quarter. That to me was when they called who was the play they called? They didn't even call a handoff. They called it was something dumb we called. It was like a fake handoff to Saquon, and Jalen ran it. Then I think it blitzed us and Jalen got sacked and got the ball. It was a dumb scenario of plays. We didn't run one time. The plays was kind of like it was weird. I don't know. The play calling was very weird coming out that second half.
Yeah, maybe I'm just caught up on that drive because that drive irritated me.
I think that's what it was. You took a little bit too. That's what it was. That drive was.
Other than that, it was cash. I can't
throw the ball, which I don't like when they keep throwing the ball. But even like I'm looking at the first possession was 18. We scored in 18 seconds. The second possession. That's when Jalen started dialing up. I'm looking. He got it for 10 yards. Got Devontae for 19 yards. Got AJ for 11 yards. And then he said, "Okay, now let me just walk it in for a touchdown myself." The ball was great. Came in there. Think about it.
Jalen balled. Jalen definitely balled.
The media was all on him. So I was like, is he going to be the reason why we don't make the Super Bowl? And think about it. Even though we had 3 straight home games, we didn't get a bye this year. We sat there and we won 3 straight games to get to the Super Bowl, and now we here. Now we just got to seal the deal, and I believe we can do it. I'm fully confident. I know Wayne said earlier he don't care who we play. He said he don't care if it's the Chiefs or the Bills.
I don't.
I think I want.
He said the X-Men said the Chiefs would slice up the Bills. I do want to get in to see that game after we drop the pod. Listen, 20 for 28, 246 yards, 1 passing touchdown. 3 rushing touchdowns, so 4 total touchdowns, like Tim said, for Jalen Hurts. We had 7 rushing touchdowns this game. 7 rushing touchdowns. That's
unheard of.
42 points on rushing touchdowns alone. The one time when we was fake Philly shoving them and it was on the goal line and we would just have
kept trying to jump it.
No, that was crazy.
Hysterical in itself. I didn't know the whole thing went.
I was like, I don't care what y'all going to do. I'm jumping over as soon as.
I watched football.
I think that was the plan.
I watched football since I was 13. I never knew you can be awarded a touchdown.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was news. We all got that.
Yeah,
that definitely was like, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that really shocked me. I never even knew that rule existed, but that was actually interesting. And I thought, because I was thinking to myself, like at a certain point, how far can you keep moving the ball? Like, what I mean, like at a point, you're gonna have to move the ball over the goal line if you keep jumping off sides. Like it's gonna have to be.
Explain your comment.
The refs like
the podcast when we play it.
The refs was like, listen, we ain't here all day for this dumb stuff.
Exactly.
Y'all keep on doing that. We gonna just give them the points and say line it back up.
Yeah, I agree. That was funny, man. It was. I gotta also give a shout out. The boy, Jalen Carter, is the best defensive tackle in football. You saw for that one play he was going, you saw a complete difference. Jayden was standing there chilling for the one play he was out. As soon as he got back in, it got back active again. Like I know somebody commented earlier that they love the boy Nolan Smith and he their favorite player and all that. Yes, but Jalen Carter is the engine on his defense.
You saw what Aaron Donald said about him, didn't you?
What'd he say?
Aaron Donald said he next up. Aaron Donald said he the next me.
No, he is. He and the crazy part is you would think that as big as the boy Davis is, that he will be kind of almost the same type white way a little bit. It's 2 different monsters. Davis is a beast. Don't get me wrong.
Your Broad Street closed down, by the way. They closed Broad Street down because of the Eagle celebration. If y'all thinking about driving down there, don't.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I already know it's gonna be crazy.
Just catch the Broad Street sub. Go down there, party up.
I also got X-Man Bond. I gotta get Bond. Bond was all over the field, and I gotta get a bull Burks. Burks balled out. I was very uncomfortable that Nakobe Dean wasn't gonna be in this game. That made me very nervous. The way Burks been playing, bruh, he real. Yeah, I'm impressed. This defense don't miss a beat. For our only weak spot right now.
Jordan Davis too. Get that man Jordan Davis.
No, I do. I'm giving Davis his problem. Davis ball, but I'm telling you, that D line is a recipient of Carter. Without Carter on the field, that whole D line look different. I'm telling you, he's different, bro. He different.
Well, that's why. Go ahead, Tim.
I said the Commanders they're gonna learn from this game though, just to be there. Because they beat a lot of good teams just to get to this.
Yeah, they're young teams still.
They went into Detroit and beat them. Who was the game before they went into Tampa and beat them? They did a lot of damage.
Everybody you was scared of.
They took off. They did. They handled our light work for us. We appreciate you, the Commanders. And I heard y'all took over the Hard Rock Cafe diner, their fans yesterday. So I'm glad you had a good time in Philadelphia, but now it's time to go back home because the Philadelphia Eagles are going to the Super Bowl in New Orleans in 2 weeks.
That's a long drive home.
That's why I was saying earlier. And another person we got to give a shout out to, Dickerson. Isn't he the one that they moved over there to play center, and then you saw him jumping around?
Him and Cam.
No, Cam. Wait. Who was it that they brought in to bring to play the center?
They brought Dickerson in the play.
Dickerson came in and they got hurt during the game.
Yeah, but I mean,
they drafted him originally to be our center.
But listen, I know. But see, this goes back to one of the points I made early on. Howie has to get props for building this team. Everything we talked about. He went out and said the Eagles went out and said we're gonna get Bond. Bond is a special teamer on some other team. We're going to get him and make him one of our main linebackers. They got Nakobe Dean balling out. And guess what? When he got hurt, you brought in Burks that's taking over and doing that. DeJean came off the bench when Maddox got hurt. He stepped in, helped take us up to another level. Like everywhere you see, like we got guys stepping. BG gets hurt. We got the young guys. Smith started coming in there, getting pressure. Sweat stepped up his play a little bit. We really do see where, and like I said, when they started drafting players and just drafting the better players that was around, you sit up there and you pick a Jalen Carter who you wouldn't necessarily get when you already got Jordan Davis and you got Fletcher Cox. You won't necessarily use your first pick with that. You go looking for a position you need, but instead they drafted the best player available.
Jalen Carter, though. Remember, Jalen Carter was in that whole drag racing incident that killed one of his friends.
Yeah.
So all those first 8 teams were scared to draft him. So at number 9, one thing I say about Jeff Lurie and Howie Roseman, they will take up chances off of people with talent. Like, you know how they did with Mike Vick. Mike Vick was in jail. They say, you know what? All those other teams, like, no, stay away from them. They boarding men. I mean, and that goes back to the culture. If you got the right culture in your that you gathering within your organization, you can bring on a couple of troubled people. And that's kind of what they did. And then they surrounded the boy Jalen Carter with a lot of his old teammates from Georgia. So you got a bunch of Georgia players who kind of holding each other responsible. It was like a perfect fit for him to be in Philadelphia.
No, I agree. I mean, listen, somebody say he's not only a game changer, he's a game wrecker. I agree. Jalen Carter, he get in that middle, bro. And you gotta put at least 2 people. You got to. If you don't, Washington really tried to solo block him a lot this game, and he ended up in a backfield almost every single time he got solo blocked. He is a monster. He almost plays every defensive snap. He don't take no plays off. Yep. It's rare you got to do that size and can play with that type of motor. Like that's a special type player, man. And to play all them snaps that he do consistently, he's in the mix all the time. That's a special dude. And that to me, it just makes everybody else's job easier. It make Nolan Smith's job easier. It make the Bull Williams' job easier. It make Burke's job easier. Cornerback's job easier. He's just a monster, man. I just love watching him play. But
you had to go back to Fangio though, because Fangio got these Bulls. We was ranked 30th last year. We was at the very bottom, 2 spots on the bottom. But the boy Vic Fangio came in and he is still disciplined in our roster and our team.
I agree.
You see
But
him.
that also shows the importance of not panicking like we do as a fan base. Not just us, fan bases do, because it's
Yeah.
the same thing. It's the same thing when Fangio was here last year. Was nobody screaming the Nick Fangio? We was talking about how bad the defense was. Some of us in here, and then even in the beginning of the season, we was talking about how there was some people saying how bad.
It was bad.
No, but what I'm saying is, to this point, like even if they were, first of all, the defense in our first couple games, the defense was still playing kind of like how they played against Washington. They was giving up a lot of yards and holding them to field goals, but our offense wasn't doing anything near what they're doing now. So now, when you have the confidence when your offense is doing, our defense has had other games where they caused a lot of turnovers and stuff. But this time, our offense made the other team. When they start making other teams pay, giving us a short field and stuff like that, it's a whole new thing.
I'm trying to see who was that here.
Oh, wait. I meant to say when you was talking about Jalen Carter, to agree with you. Jalen Carter had two things happen today that just show just how amazing a player he is. It was one play when they was trying to run a quick pass, and I guess it was a line, either it was a tight end or somebody that was coming to block him, and they tried to go low and take his legs out. He just hurdled the ball.
Yes,
and landed and still was running to go make a play. And the other one was when their offensive lineman slapped him in the face mask.
He slapped the taste out boy mouth.
He slapped that boy into the injured list. He slapped him in the He slapped him. He gave that boy a concussion.
At this point, should we expect 3 to 4 turnovers a game by our defense?
Bro, this has to be the most turnovers I've ever seen a defense have, especially an Eagles defense.
Yeah,
especially in the playoffs as well. It's almost like a guarantee you're going to get an interception or a fumble. Fumble's almost a guarantee at this point.
Oh, yeah.
And they said Nick Sirianni, to his credit,
I was about to say that. That's Nick Sirianni doing. Like,
he constantly tells them about going for the ball, especially when that's a good point he made. When somebody catches it and gets up, that's when they're most vulnerable to fumble the ball because you're thinking about getting up and making a play. And not protecting the ball. And that's exactly how they got Eckler. As soon as he went to get up, the ball, Burks reached in there and popped that joint out. And once you start getting on fumbles, man, it was a party. It was a party. And like I said, like I felt comfortable. I didn't know it was going to be this bad. Like SGA says, BTA. It was a spanking. It was a spanking that
they're gonna remember this all summer long.
I was a little bit. Jayden Daniels is a ball. All right. Mm-hmm. I was getting a little bit irritated with the glazing that was going on with Jayden Daniels. I was getting a little bit annoyed. Oh, he's so calm. He never even bats an eye. He does this. It was true. He was balling.
I like that young boy. I thought it was fair glazing to me.
Let's keep it a beam. This is what I told y'all last week. Everybody, they hung 42 on Detroit. I said they're not hanging 42 on it. Detroit defense was pretty much entire defense of bench players. Let's keep it a beam. Almost their whole defense was bench players. So, of course, you're going to hang 42 on a team that's bringing in bulls off the street. I probably could have got a roster spot if I'd have flew to Detroit. That's how bad the situation
is.
Yeah, but go ahead.
My point is, I knew once they came against the number one ranked defense, it was going to be a total different story. Every yard you and Tom Brady said in the commentary, they fought. They were scraping and scrambling like how Puff Daddy like his artists. They were scraping and scrambling for every yard that they got. They were scraping and scrambling for every yard. And when you got to play like that, it's hard to continue to play like that all game.
Thanks, Sergeant Bass, for the love. We're gonna talk about those Sixers a little later, but right now, can we get a little bit of Eagles talk? That
was a great win by the Sixers last night. So I actually wanted to come and do a pod by myself, but I was kind of chilling with the wifey. We were going to talk about that a little bit too. 2 great back-to-back wins by the Sixers, mind you.
Absolutely.
But we're going to talk about that. But Eagles, man, look, bro. 55 points, the most points ever in an AFC and NFC championship game. A championship game period, most points ever. I wish
to the point that you was just making, though, we're talking about the glazing of Jalen Daniels. I actually think the points that you made supports why they were talking about him like that. He was going against the number one defense, and you saw for real, they was breathing down his neck. He didn't look shaken. He didn't look like he really did deserve the praise that he was getting. You just was against a superior team, and that's why I said to me after last week, my whole thing was just about injuries. If Jalen, like I said, if Jalen Hurts is good enough to play and he's not concussed and everything. And if Quinyon Mitchell was straight, I'm not worried about them. The Eagles have a superior roster. We know that they had a great offensive roster coming into the season. We saw the tools that they got. But now when you see Jalen Carter playing the way he playing, and you see Mitchell balling how he balling, and you see Kobe Dean was doing what he was doing, Braun. Like, you see these players on the defense actually balling out. We knew we had talent on offense. Now with the defense playing like that, I have no fear. Not saying that we can't lose, but I have no fear of no team. It's no team that I feel like to face, even when everybody's talking about Detroit and all that. It's no team that I feel like facing like, oh man, we got to play our A game in order to beat them. I feel like that we do have superior talent on this team, and that's why I start out by giving Howie props. They put this team together.
I agree.
I can agree. I mean, listen, this is my point about Detroit, brother, man. I'm not making excuses. I'm telling you why I was confident that the Eagles was going to handle business. Detroit's defense. Look at Detroit last couple games. They let the 49ers score 34 points on them in week 15, 16. The Vikings are the only team they really blew out. The really good team that they blew out. And that was the last game of the year, and the Vikings had so many opportunities to actually score. Sam Darnold just laid a complete egg in that game. They beat the Bears 34-17, which was trash. The Bills put 42 on them in week 13, 42-14. The Packers dropped 31 on them. The Bears scored 20 on them the week before. That's what I'm saying. Like, they was getting points dropped, and their defense is not good. And their quarterback isn't mobile. This is another thing that if you look at the last 4 teams that are left, they all got mobile quarterbacks. That's not a coincidence, because you need a mobile quarterback when them defenses start coming in. You got them defensive pass rushers, them defensive coordinators, down up blitzes. You need a mobile quarterback that can get active. That is another thing, that them quarterbacks that can't move, they a dying breed, bro. They dinosaurs right now. You ain't going to see much of them in the next 2 or 3 years. They probably all.
You know what play that you know what players is going to start being the player. You know how I go through phases of where you got, like, for a while was like fat D lineman. You had to get this, that, and the other. You know the next players. You know the next position that everybody going to be going heavy on and looking for. And if you coming out of college, it's a position you do to make money, and it's linebacker. Because for years the linebacker position started dwindling down because everybody was doing this passing game wide open and everything else. Now this year, you done had other teams start bulking up them lines and start loading up and ground pounding the ball. And it's like you see where you need them linebackers now. Now you need them linebackers that can cover and actually hit.
Yeah, I think courtesy of us. But guess what? I'm just thinking one thing. Then the Commanders defensive coordinator come out and say something about Jalen this week. He said if he's going to run the ball, he's going to get tackled like a running back.
You're going to hit him.
Yep.
Jalen didn't get touched. He ran for 4 touchdowns.
That's another thing.
Plus 3 bad push tushes.
That's another thing. Jalen actually audible into some great plays, bro. Like,
he did. He audible into a couple trash ones too, but more than like most of them was better plays.
He audible into some great plays. Even that one they took from him, that he got it and they called it back, and we still ended up scoring with the AJ Brown touchdown pass.
He sure did.
He audible. It appeared, I don't know what happened. It appeared he may have also audible to that first Saquon 60-something, 70-something yard run, however long that was, because it looked like he audible. Then he may have audible back into the original play. I'm not sure.
That's exactly what happened. Email called that out too. He said he called out the audible, and then he said reload. He said he reloaded back to the original play.
Yes. Okay. That's what I thought kind of happened. But he was.
But even if he did that, like you said, he made that adjustment, and then he realized, like, okay, now I saw him he did a very good job this game, to your point, of doing pre-snap recognition.
Yes, he did.
Like, that's even like the one, because I give him credit, because on the one play, one play, like right before he took that sack that took us out of field goal range or whatever, made it difficult, he should have threw it to AJ. I'm looking like you got AJ one-on-one with the guy down the field, put it up there, give your best receiver, one of the best receivers in the game, a chance to make a play. He didn't. They came back later on. He saw a play. He called AJ was lined up to go in the slot. He put him in motion and saw they was in single in isolation in a man-on-man coverage because the guy went in motion with him. And he called that audible, and he threw that thing up there to AJ that beat the ball on the one-on-one deep pass. And I think Jalen did a lot of that. And even when he took the sack on the blitz, I don't think it was his fault. The line didn't give him a great chance at it.
They broke down very fast. I think
so. Jalen, he had an excellent game today.
Devontae Smith, he still should have quit that pass to me. He should have. It It was a pass interference. But that was a touchdown that Jalen would have had under his belt too that he didn't get credited for. But he did.
AJ would have caught it. Oh yeah, he did catch it later on in the game.
Yeah, AJ was locked in. AJ was locked in. Jalen was definitely locked in. I cannot give enough props to who should be the MVP of the NFL. Not offensive MVP, not low honorable mention. No, he should be the MVP of the NFL, Saquon Barkley. He is a special player, man.
Do you see some of the blocks he made?
Yeah,
he was cracking dudes.
That's what I mean. Like outside of a running back, he's just a player. Like he's just a football player. I firmly believe you could put Saquon at linebacker and he'll look like the Kobe Dean. Like he'll do some work out there. You know what I'm saying? Like he'll put in some work. That dude is a baller, man.
He's a football player.
We are very fortunate to have him. We fortunate the Giants organization muffed that whole situation up so bad that he came to a division rival and cannot get no sweeter than this.
I think him. Go ahead, Tim.
Now Jalen Hurts. He got the most rushing touchdowns by a quarterback in NFL playoff history. He did that today. So,
Saquon had the most yards of a playoff runner so far.
I think he needed 140, 150, and I think he only finished with like 118.
Listen, all that tells me is this offensive line
add up. Okay,
this offensive line, even pieced together, is dominant. They're dominant. Because Shipley came in, he running over him. Saquon running over him. What's his name? Gainwell. They would just run. This is the thing about when you have, and it's another thing I'm giving Jalen Hurts props for. And sometimes it seemed like he held the ball too long, but I think it was because he didn't want to try to force something. But in this game, as opposed to last game, he got rid of the ball. He threw it away. Like if it wasn't in there, throw it away. Like remember how we was talking about when he took that save?
A couple plays, he was like spinning around in circles in the back a little bit. Couple, it was about.
But he kind of caught himself. He caught himself though.
He did.
He caught himself. But that's what I'm saying. Like I really do got to give. This was a great team win. Like yeah, it's different players that stepped up and did big things and big moments. But to me, it's hard to see who you get a game ball to because they were all. It was just players all over the place. The team just was a dominant team, and they played it. Whatever the defense gave us, for the most part, the offense took, and our defense dictated the game to them.
No, I agree. I agree. This was special, man. There was so many points of emphasis that you could put on that we did well in this game that totally outweighed any little slight mistakes might have been made by Jalen, by the defense. By the offense coordinator. I mean, those were minuscule to all the really good drawn up plays that we had, man. They put some work in, bro. This game was special. And like you said, if this is why I was so annoyed a little bit with Jalen through certain parts of the season, and so was AJ Brown and Devontae Smith when they was snapping on him. And remember, they was talking together on the sideline and he was hating on him. This is why.
So you think you should do that ball to AJ?
Jalen made AJ start reading books.
We're going to talk about that. Let me talk about that. But this is why, because we got so many weapons. Like, Goddard is a bona fide stud. And I told y'all last year, our offense to me.
I've been in and out the lineup all year long.
But even without Goddard, we still got Calcaterra. He's a baller too. So there's no excuses. We got Smitty, AJ, Calcaterra, and we got a great offensive line. We got Saquon Barkley. Our offense should almost for our offense should look like this almost every week. Let's keep it a beam.
Well, remember that's what we thought it was going to be. That's what we thought it was going to be coming into the season.
That was Kellen Moore. He finally got it.
I'm sure it was. Okay.
All right. I mean, listen. I don't care where the blame go. All I'm saying is this is what it should look like. And on that play to AJ Brown where he didn't throw a 1-on-1. I'm not overly mad about that because you do got to take in consideration down, distance, momentum, all that kind of stuff like that. It was only second down. It was like 2nd and 6. So you didn't have to force anything that wasn't there on that play. Do you think AJ Brown could win a battle 1-on-1? Yeah, you could, but anything can happen at that point. I think if you play the play right, you're in field goal range, 3rd and 6. You go for another short pass, try to pick up the first. If you don't, you kick a field goal. Instead, we get sacked. So it made that play that he didn't go to AJ look even worse. But
But I'm just saying, that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to kill him about it because later on he came back and then he made that play later on and he audible to it. But my thing is when you got a top tier wide receiver, 1-on-1. What's the rule of thumb? If they 1-on-1 and it's a top tier, you talking about top 10, top 5 wide receiver, you put that ball up and you let them go get it.
I cannot. I'm not arguing against that.
But I understand I understand what you're saying too. That's why I can't be completely mad. It's just that he took that sack after that. That
Yes.
kind of, you know what I'm saying?
That made everything look goofy. Now, if we'd have lost the game, I might have a different take.
Yeah, I'm like, I was already like, maybe he should have threw it.
All right.
Like, just trust. And another reason why he probably didn't do it because he the way not Saquon, but AJ was so close to the sideline that he couldn't even do like a back shoulder throw on that particular pass. So it would have been real difficult for him to really put that ball where no one else could have made a play on it. So
and Lattimore had great coverage on that.
He did.
Great coverage.
They was in Lattimore head.
I mean, he eventually did though. Listen, I mean, I like Lattimore though. As a quarterback, the wide receiver has all the advantages. You get more of the calls. You know the play, obviously, so you know. I mean, the onus is now on the cornerback to keep up with the wide receiver. So, cornerback, in my opinion, is the second toughest position to play outside of quarterback, and the most physically challenging position to play, in my opinion, because you playing with world-class track stars who got size, who got speed, who got agility. These receivers are the best of the best. They are the best of the best. So to keep up stride for stride with these dudes, and there's nobody out there, Richard, to help you on a lot of given plays, that makes it tough to me. Other positions, you can hide a little bit. Somebody else might be able to come and rescue and save you. Corner, ain't nobody coming to save you, bro. You out there.
I mean, it do be people come to save you. They're called safeties. That's right.
That's called
safety. But that being said, I actually agree with you though. I've always said, to me, cornerback is, other than quarterback, the toughest position to play.
You say corner?
Yeah, I think cornerback is.
AJ ain't have to step up.
What do y'all think about Slay? Slay saying that this probably will be his last game with the Eagles playing at home, because he said he want to play one more season. However, he says probably not going to be with the Eagles.
So, where you want to go? Does he have a team?
Nah, he's probably positioning because the Eagles probably don't want to pay him the money that he. This is positioning because he wants to get money.
Because we already have 2 corners in the wait. They're waiting to fill that spot.
I honestly, the way that the Eagles been drafting and having players, and let him go. I would give him an offer. I'm not saying I would just say kick rocks. I will make an offer.
Slay still's probably top 5 corner.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to listen.
I'll give him top 10, 15. I don't know about top 5. He's not even number 1 on the team.
Yeah, he's not better than Mitchell. Let's talk about Mitchell. Let's talk about Mitchell's interception too. The awareness that he made. The Eagles, and this is a shout out to Fangio. This Eagles team on defense are opportunistic, and they look to do like, if you really look at them, like they're always in the right position to cover for each other and back each other up. And then what's this?
That comment, all facts.
Was it Slay that almost got the interception? It was somebody that they dove bad at the ball. Then the ball went in the air and they tried to break back to catch it.
That was Slay.
That would have been an amazing interception if he was able to pull that off. But this is what this team does. It's almost like they're coached up to look for every little, like you said about punching the ball loose when somebody's trying to stand back up. All those are small things that a good coaching staff installs in their staff, and then you get the confidence of the players once they understand what you want from them, and everybody do their own job. And when you got the talent like the Eagles got, I mean, this is how you become the number 1 defense.
I agree. MOTC, this is not the day. To come on here with some Jalen Hurts slander.
You just get
it's not.
Real rap. You my man. You sounding foolish, bro.
Jalen did nothing that should have cost us a game this game, and he actually made big plays to help us win it.
There's a comment out there today that says that has Jalen Hurts and Sirianni eclipsed Donovan McNabb and Andy Reid as the combo, the best duo quarterback.
Yes, they're making it to their second Super Bowl
in the Eagles' history.
They made it to their second Super Bowl. Andy Reid and Donovan didn't make it back.
But Donovan had 12 good years of quarterback play.
And one Super Bowl where he wet the bed. The Eagles had one Super Bowl where they got lose.
Let's be fair. Donovan did not wet the bed in the Super Bowl. He didn't.
Yes, he did.
He could have won it, but he didn't. Wet the bed to me, you get blown out. We actually was in a position to win that game all into like 3 minutes left in the game. And
No, wet the bed mean you made bad plays. And you
I still think, but wet the bed to me means that he still played a decent game. T.O. had 100-some receiving yards in the game.
Yeah, Wayne is a Donovan hater and always will be.
But in my opinion, Andy Reid actually got out coached outside the cheating when you went for that onside kick with like 3 minutes left in the game. That was a dumb play call, but we could discuss that later. As regards Jalen and whatchamacallit, my biggest knock on McNabb wasn't really McNabb. It was the fact that McNabb didn't get the weapons he truly deserved for the majority of his career. If McNabb had an A.J. Brown, Smitty, and Saquon combination, you don't think we'd have got the more Super Bowls? Like, you must be crazy if you think.
No, because McNabb was too sensitive and he was worried about other people getting love.
T.O., so you're going to – everybody keeps saying this, but everybody forgets – T.O. was a head case. Don't act like it wasn't that.
So was Donovan. Donovan was a head. Listen, and listen.
Jealous.
This is why I'm putting Jalen above Donovan. Like if you're talking about that coach, of course Donovan has had a longer career and did numbers and everything else. But what I'm saying is Jalen Hurts don't have that ego. He got swagger, but he don't got that ego. Donovan McNabb was butthurt because everybody was saying T.O. was going to take us to the final. See, T.O. He said his jealousy of T.O. caused him to say to T.O., no, I'm not going to speak up for you for money. Meanwhile, the very next year he goes to the front office and says, we got to give Westbrook some money. Donovan was the emotional weakling in that matter.
Maybe he learned the lesson. Maybe I need to speak up.
He ain't learned nothing. Because guess what? When the Eagles got rid of him, he still was talking all that trash.
Listen, you're not putting no accountability on Joe Banner for lowballing him, knowing that he got a good sweet deal from 49ers.
I absolutely do.
So like all Joe Banner had to do was guarantee the money. He got a $42 million deal that was all incentive based. So he said,
so you telling me if the face of the franchise comes up, Donovan McNabb, and says, "Yo, I need this guy."
No, that's the why. No, email. I think it might have been email. They said what happened when Jeffrey Lurie went to a Sixer game and he got booed, and he couldn't understand why he got booed, and they was talking about because they didn't the way they felt about the Eagles front office. That's why he fired his best friend Joe Banner and let the boy Howie Roseman take over because what's his name? Joe Banner was real good with the books and everything, but the way they were perceived in the media was horrible. And so what they did, he flipped it. So as far as McNabb was a great quarterback, and I'm not going to take away from him. The only thing I'll say about McNabb he did wrong, he didn't embrace the running portion of his game, and he always wanted to be known as a passer. He was a good passer, but if he embraced that running portion, we might have won a Super Bowl.
I agree with that. I do agree with that. I mean, listen, somebody said, I think it was Make Him Pay. He said Jalen Hurts' story isn't done yet. So it is hard to kind of make that decision right now. And I kind of agree with that. If Jalen Hurts wins the Super Bowl, I think it's a no-brainer. Him and Nick Sirianni is better than Andy.
But to your point about the Super Bowl with Donovan, I'm going to tell you, Donovan, I remember our defense was balling out, shutting them down. We had the ball. We called a play. Donovan threw the pass, got it picked off by the safety, trying to throw a wheel route or curl out a post out there to Westbrook. It got picked. We got a penalty on the play. Reset. He does the exact same thing and throws the ball away again. He was so bent on T.O. not being the main reason we won that Donovan was a head case to me. I'm sorry.
I'm not agreeing. T.O. had 11 catches and 7 catches for 100-something yards. Yeah. T.O. had a monster game.
He should have 30 catches because couldn't nobody stop him.
T.O. wasn't even healthy all the way like that. So I'm not.
And Donovan was going to make sure he wasn't going to be the reason.
I'm not sold on that. But somebody said why we talking about Donovan because Tim raised the question about Jalen and Donovan. That's why we talk about Donovan. But I mean, in all honesty, back to the situation at hand, back to this beautiful Eagles victory that we had. When is the MVP announced? MVP of the NFL.
Probably the week of that bye week while we in the middle of the Super Bowl. I think around that time period.
If it ain't
the votes is already in.
I know the votes is in. If it's not Saquon,
it ain't never in if they ain't make the announcement. I don't trust nothing with the NFL.
If it's not Saquon, it's going to be Travis. There's no way that this dude.
If Josh Allen wins, it's going to be Josh Allen. If he beat Kansas City, it's going just so happen to be Josh Allen.
So. But if you waited to the playoffs, there's no way it shouldn't be Saquon. That's even more of a reason it should be Quan if you wait to the playoffs. What he did so far in his playoffs has been unbelievable. I've seen Terrell Davis have some monster games in playoffs. I done seen Emmitt Smith. I done seen some great running back, Marshall Faulk. What you see from Saquon, ain't none of them do nothing like this, bro.
That man had 3 carries, 61 yards, and 2 touchdowns after his first 3 carries.
He had 15 carries for 100 yards, averaging 8 yards a carry and 3 TDs on 15 carries. Like he just,
Well, listen, guess what? Even if playoffs don't count, look at the regular season. The man could have very easily broke the rushing record for this year. We're not even talking about just not playing that last game. You know what else he didn't do when we had the numbers up and we was running? He said, "No, I'm gonna fall back. Let Gainwell run." He was on that type time like Steph Curry was when Steph Curry was scoring out of control when he had KD. Then they get up so big, they're like, "Oh no, you know what? Go ahead. I'm gonna sit on the bench for the fourth quarter. We got this." That's what Saquon was doing. Saquon was clearly the most valuable player in the league this year, in my opinion.
Yeah, That's facts. This is exactly why I feel he should win MVP. If he don't, it's a little bit of a travesty. I ain't gonna hold you. A little bit of a travesty. But
who y'all got the Super Bowl?
What you say now?
Who you got in the Super Bowl?
I already told you, Eagles. I don't care. I ain't afraid of nobody.
I just said Saquon got snubbed. So
either the Eagles or the refs. Either the Eagles or the refs going to win that game.
Yeah, the refs and cheese.
The refs is undefeated. The refs is undefeated.
Yeah, the refs is undefeated. The refs is definitely undefeated. That's who we gonna have to make sure we beat. But yeah, we gonna see. I'm confident that the Eagles have the best team in the game. We have the best players and the best offense and defense.
And coaching
is right now. I have to agree. Now, coach, I got to go with Andy Reid. Andy Reid's the best.
Yeah, I know. How much of the best is he when the refs help him out every time when the baby is back against the wall? I like Andy. Kansas City is tainted. Kansas City is tainted right
now. Did we talk about that 4th down dot that Jalen threw? That joint was what? That 4th down pass.
I have to say, honestly, I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to talk about that. That actually may have been the biggest play of the game because I felt momentum.
Speak on it.
I felt momentum swinging back a little bit. Could have possibly been in the favor of Washington. If we don't convert it, I honestly think that this game is totally different. If we don't convert that conversion, and if we punt, it still may have been different based on what happened with Washington on the next drive. That 4th down conversion was huge. The implications of that throw was one of the clutchest passes I've seen in a long time because if we don't get that, I'm telling you, I'm not saying we lose, but it's a way closer, tighter game. That John blew the whole game open, in my opinion. That was huge. That was huge and clutch. It was huge. And it was on a dot. Dot to AJ. So nobody coming here hating on Jalen. I know MOTC, you want to call him cheeks and all that stuff. Jalen, for real, let's keep it a bean. That's what me and Tim was saying last week. All things being considered, if everybody would have caught the ball this week like they did last week, the stats would have almost been very similar to this week's stats. Even that guy that played that got called holding or not holding, too many men downfield and all that kind of stuff like that. The stats would have been almost a mirror image of today if that didn't go last week. But last week, he only ended up like 130 some yards, and everybody, he only passed it for 100 yards. Like that video that Tim sent to TikTok with Jalen Hurts walking to the game with the old school Kango and all that kind of stuff like that. And the first 2 comments, he looking real cool to throw for 126 yards. All this hating with Jalen, but it would have been 200 yards if the plays would have stood last week. If AJ would have caught it instead of dropped it, and the penalty and all that. They had a lot of plays that messed up the stat line, but now you see with a clean game, the stats would have been almost identical. So stop hating.
I'm not buying that. Jalen played.
I'm buying it.
Jalen Hurts played head and shoulders better this week than he did last week.
He did last week.
No, he didn't. Last week he held the ball too long and everything. This week we seen This week we seen him. The elements may have added to it, but that being said, he still played better this week than he did last week.
Yeah.
He got rid of the ball. He threw the ball. He got rid of the ball. Remember we was talking about was like some of them sacks. He had like 9 sacks, 7 sacks, or something like that last week. He didn't take those same sacks. He got to the outside, got outside the pocket, and threw the ball out of bounds or near a receiver. That was excellent. And those was excellent plays that he made on those parts. So I do think Jalen played way better this week.
Did he throw a pick, Jay, or you was captain? Oh, he was captain. My son had me gassed up. So Josh Allen threw a pick. What's the score of that game anyway? What's the score?
Like 7-3. That's how much.
7-3. Who got 7? Chiefs. 7-3 Chiefs. All right. So I agree. I mean, listen, I would Bills just scored a touchdown. Bills scored a touchdown, so it's about to be 10.
Mm-hmm.
I would prefer. I don't think neither team can legitimately beat us. I would prefer to play the Bills because I just don't like the rest with Chiefs, man. I just don't trust them. I don't. What they did to us 2 years ago, I will never forget. Never. Jalen should be working on his second Super Bowl right now, for real, for real. Let's keep it a beat. He should be working on his second Super Bowl. I will never forget how they did this last year. So I'm a little bit more comfortable playing the Bills because I don't think the rest had a little, the trickery on the game as much as they would.
The puppeteer fingers.
Yes. But regardless, we can and are better than both teams. Whoever's left, we better than them all. So it don't matter.
I agree. It'd be real interesting for Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, just for the podcast sake. That Super Bowl. But I'm taking Eagles defense over everybody. Let's go.
Eagles defense. All right, so let's talk a little Sixer ball real quick before we get out of here.
Maxie, by the way, listen. All your boys, MOTC, you want to hate on Maxie and all that? Wayne was hating on Maxie, saying he's not ready to leave. Maxie's ready now. Wayne logged up? That's what we doing now. We got to sit down like, Wayne, what you do? Come on, bro. Come on, you can't do this. Now we got to talk about the Sixers because if Brandon's not a Sixers fan, he's a Joel Embiid fan. MOTC, another one, not a Sixers fan, he's a Joel Embiid fan. I am a Sixers fan, and I love the fact that we have one of the best young players in the league in the boy Tyrese Maxey. Here you go, man, coming back in. Tyrese Maxey has now shown that the leadership role he's adopting, and he's getting comfortable now with that leadership role, with B going for pretty much the rest of the season. Listen now, you might as well count B out. B will play probably a total of 15 to 20 more games for the rest of the season. Maybe he'll be healthy for the playoffs. We'll see. In all honesty, I'm not even sure if we get to the playoffs. I'm not even sure if we get to the playoffs. Let's say we make a run and we get into the play-in and we get in the playoffs. If we do, I'm not even sure that would be a good, smart thing to feature Joel in that joint. Nope. Because to me, that means that we've learned to play a style of basketball without him in a lineup, and then you insert him in the lineup in the playoffs. I don't know if that'd be a good idea. I don't know. I'm just saying. I think our young players have come along well. Dalton Jr. They sent Ricky Council back to the G League because he was kind of playing a little suspect up and down. Yabusele, that dude plays with so much intensity and heart. He reminds me of Draymond a little bit. Undersized, but Yaba gives you 1,000% every play, every loose ball. He the only dude I see consistently diving on the floor, his arms falling around, he's smacking balls out and all that kind of stuff. Pause. He does his thing on another level. I really like watching Yabusele play. Oubre has been playing well. He gave you 220 back-to-back 22-point games. Great win over Cleveland, tough team. Then they come in on a back-to-back night and beat a Bulls team who's trying to fight for that same kind of position where the Sixers at. Beat them when they was down a couple times, made a couple comebacks to come back. Even with Paul George out of the game, Maxey was still able to lead the charge and get his team a victory. Eric Gordon's actually playing well for old head. I'm liking what I see so far from this season.
I'm not buying that just yet. The same way I said.
Fun with it. You got you're gonna be mad if you don't. That's why I just like.
No. Listen, I want Maxey. I want Maxey to be the next because Maxey needs to be the face of the franchise in order. It got to be. Excuse me. The way he's going, there has to be. But that being said, all right. The Cavs was a nice win. It was a 3-point win at home.
Yeah.
We also played the Cavs tight earlier in the season too. But then we beat the Bulls, whose record is similar to ours. I'm not getting excited over that 2-game win streak. We've had win streaks before over better teams. Like I'm not. I mean, I ain't gonna say better because Cavs was, the Cavs, but
The number one team in the NBA.
right. I'm not. And I mean, did the Cavs play all their starters that game and everything? Everybody played for the Cavs and everything. I mean,
Who
I
didn't
don't
play?
know. Sometimes I'm not taking nothing away from that win. That was a good win. But all I'm saying is the Sixers, to me, I still don't see no consistency with them. We had it earlier in the season where it was like they won like 6 out of 9 games or something like that. It was ball, and then
Yeah,
next thing
Mobley
you
didn't
know,
play. That's what I was
they
thinking.
don't show up. So what you say? Who ain't Mobley didn't?
Mobley didn't play. Yeah, that's the best defender and what they
Right.
second or third best
Right.
player. But I mean,
Like a big shot blocker for them too. So, but I mean, to give, like you said, give Maxey and stuff his credit because he's out there with one hand tied behind his back because two supposed stars that's supposed to be running alongside of him can't stay on the court. So I'm not ripping Maxey at all for this season.
I appreciate that.
All right.
Maxey also, his three has been falling a lot better the last couple games too. He was 4 for 8 versus Cleveland, and I think he was 50%. Let me see exactly what he was against the Bulls.
That's what we've been asking for because that's kind of my issue.
He was 5 for 13 against the Bulls, 40% against the Bulls. So it's been falling a lot better. And I told you I was going to start falling. Maxey, he was taking, to Ethan's credit, and Tim kind of said the same thing. He was taking bad shots.
No. I said it first, and then he climbed on it.
No, Ethan said that early. Ethan and me both kind of said it early because he was doing too many step backs. He was getting too Harden-esque. He was doing way too many step back threes.
Nope, what up, go with me.
Okay, but Maxey been working. This is what I want to see. In truth be told, Maxey has been our best consistent player this whole year. You can say all you want about Maxey, about him not shooting the three well and all that not falling and him taking bad shots, but he's been there and he's been giving it 110% every night. You can't say that about B. You can't say that about Paul George. The two are our two best players. Maxey the third or the second, whatever you want to put him at. He's been giving it a heart every night.
Yeah, so has Jabu. We ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about after the top tier player. You don't expect.
Okay. Oh no. Exactly. I agree.
But I do like Yaba. Yaba's been doing this thing. I got to tip my hat to Yaba. He was the first one of the first people I mentioned on like when he started talking about this.
I still want to know. I still need to know what their plans is. Like, all right, you know what the situation would be? Is there a situation where as though Embiid just dictates when he's going to play or not, and so you looking at tanking it, or like, and then what Paul George doing? Are y'all looking to tank it? If the Sixers get into that, like you said, do you bring Embiid back later on? Like if they do start playing well enough where they right there on the cusp of the playoffs and everything else, do you go back and bring the influx of them players in? Because let's keep it a bean though. Even if they would make it to a 7 for 8 seed or play it where as though they in the play in with the current roster without Bede or Paul George playing, they're not going nowhere. We know that for a fact. So at that point, like Ethan and Tim have been saying from the beginning, do you just look to tank and try to get a top 6, a protected pick?
It's too late right now.
Is it?
Yeah, because right now we like the 6th, 7th worst team in the league. So that's too much of a gamble. Either you're going we should have like really been trying to tank. But right now we in the
I couldn't tell that we wasn't. I mean, what more do you want from me? They was trying their best. They have their team sit like with injury. You have that's the other thing. Like the role players are sitting out like they injured. Like Drummond. How many games Drummond missed this season? Like we didn't have games where we ain't had no season. They had Boner was out, Drummond out, Bede out. We sitting there running with like Yabusele playing our center the whole game. Yeah. Paul George. They had Paul George playing the center. That's why he's like, man, this ain't no fun. This boring.
Yeah, that was crazy.
He ain't no daggone center.
That was a little goofy how they had Paul George playing center. I ain't like that at all. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, I kind of agree with you. I think we are in the rock and a hard place situation right now because even if you get in the playoffs, you're not going anywhere. Like it's you get in the playoffs right now. It's just a feeling of like a just an accomplishment just because you lost so many people this year. But it ain't. I mean,
unless you get there and then Embiid and Paul George is fully healthy, which is what I was hoping for in the beginning, but I don't see that.
The boy Gillies in the Eagles locker room got all the players turned up.
He was in there last week.
Listen, that's going to be the Eagles song, like how the Meek Mill Dreams and Nightmares for 2017. Yeah. The song now.
I don't like the fact that it's old. I don't like the fact that he went and brought this old. Even though that was my joint. That was my joint back when they used to play it on 2K and on Madden. Blow the whistle.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like it's not a Philly original. Yeah, I mean, it's a West Coast song. All right, but Gilly brought it here. Even he had what was that? In one of his videos, he had
Too short. He had too short.
Videos, he had him down
He
here
was there last week too.
rapping the song. So it kind of became a somewhat of a theme song, and the dance, he leaning back and all that, he throwing the joint in the air, catching it. The dance and everything kind of caught on as
I'm about to give me one of them hats.
I know. I do like them hats. I know his neighbors wasn't on board with that in the beginning.
Oh, but now they totally
come out with the broom. Then
dude in the wheelchair came out there. It was the whole.
He actually had the
Like,
card.
we-
He had the card out the
now.
game last. He had the card out the game last week. He had the card down there.
I'm gonna
He
get
had the
Ethan
neighbor
bird
name with him. What you say?
I'm gonna get Ethan the bird suit.
You gonna get Ethan down there with the bird?
Like that.
That's hate. Don't do that. I'm not laughing, Ethan. I'm not condoning
Ethan,
that.
where you at?
I'm not condoning that foolishness.
Ethan catch up 50 straight. He ain't even on the pod.
Oh man! All right, y'all. We're gonna wrap this thing up.
Listen, I'm gonna end this show.
Beautiful morning. Come on, we were supposed to start the show off like that, but come on.
I'm gonna end the show like Saquon ended the game on his run.
Yeah.
He hit it with the night. He hit it with the step after the run. Like, oh, that's when you know you're an icon. When people start doing your celebration, you know you him.
Yeah.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Hey, y'all, thank y'all for real. This is a great ride. The ride is not over.
No one likes us. No one likes us. No one likes us. We don't care.
If some kind of way Kansas City can win, which team will be the most hated team in the Super Bowl? Because everybody hate the Eagles and everybody hate Kansas City.
I agree. People don't know who they want to win. It's good because they hate Philly fans.
I want to see Taylor Swift cry on TV.
I think they almost got to make sure that Buffalo wins because nobody else in the country gonna care about that game. But at least if Buffalo make it, it's gonna be a bunch of people rooting for Buffalo.
That's true. I could kind of agree with that. I could kind of agree with
right
that.
Now, so it's a tight game for them.
It is. But check out what we do.
We'll see what memo the refs got by about the third quarter.
Yeah.
Fly, Eagles, fly. That's right. Hey, only happiness is the Eagles. Yes, we the North Bird Gang. This is it. This is beautiful. This is